Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. Episode 10, playing as the German Empire in Millennium Dawn, a modern-day mod for Hearts of Iron 4. We have just recently conquered Austria, who declared war foolishly on Germany, though they did wreak havoc on the southern part of my country, and I've got a lot of repairs to do to my factories, so I've queued them up to the front of the line to get those done first, some civilians and military factories. Then we'll continue building our nuclear reactors. Right now we already have 10, so we're going to be churning out the nuclear weapons fast and furious. I have just now given an order for 23 of my divisions to prepare for a naval landing to support the attack that France has underway in Canada. I think that's, I can't remember if that's Newfoundland or Nova Scotia. I confess I don't know my Canadian areas. Yep, that's Nova Scotia. All right, New Scotland. All right, so we're going to prepare for that. We've got naval supremacy all the way across the Atlantic there. So we're going to prepare for that. We're going to go ahead and let things get going again. World tension's up to 74% now. We just have the one war going on. And I just sorted things by the number of divisions. And it looks like China and Brazil are now the largest armies, at least in terms of number of divisions. On my side, United States and Canada would be the major belligerents on the other side. So we're going to take a look at what we can do here in terms of research. We're still way ahead on a lot of things, so I guess we're looking at infantry at this point. It looks like we can go up to 2010 on some things. Also, as usual, constant changes happening in the needs for trade. And what's happening here? Lend-Lease request from France. And the war right now is 24% in favor of the aggressors. That would be us. And assuming we're able to have a successful landing, it looks like they failed over in Canada. So I'd really like France to be attempting that again before I try to make my own landing. Just taking a look here. I do not currently have naval supremacy in this area, so I'm going to have to work on that. So we'll work on those things and prepare for hopefully what can be a successful landing in Nova Scotia. We're into nearly the end of February of 2011, and I've actually queued up a second naval invasion order, and my plan is to do these simultaneously, make it a little harder for him to fight off two landings at the same time. So I don't know if that'll be successful or not, but that's kind of the plan, and it looks like Spain has just started an invasion, so maybe now's the time to go. I don't know if it's ready, though. It said the invasion is still preparing. Let's see, it's only prepared for 42 of 161 days, but we have an inferior enemy, and it looks like it might be successful even if I go now. So I think I may do that. Let's take a look real quick at some of the options here. Some new naval bases, sure, why not? What do we have? Resistance to our occupation over in Lower Austria. How dare they? That's all right. We'll worry about that when the time comes. I don't have a lot of troops. I'm sending basically 2/3 of my army for this invasion of Canada. So, all right, we're going to launch this here in just a few minutes, I think. All right, so it's apparent now that no invasion will be necessary. France has done the dirty work and gotten the toehold in Canada that includes a naval base, which now allows me to just simply land my forces here. The next step, once we get the forces landed, is to overrun some airfields so I can start to get some air power in this region. Because other than my strategic bombers and my unmanned aerial vehicles, the drones, nothing has the range to reach this far. Once I do that, then we can start thinking about the use of nuclear weapons to weaken and destroy the Allies to the point where this becomes a foregone conclusion that we'll win. So go France, go Spain. Good job for doing the dirty work and making this possible. So now, of course, we change our strategy from one of invasion to a landing force. So once they get landed, and it looks like that'll be fairly soon, then I'll start working out how we want to go about marching down into Canada. We'll take Ottawa, Toronto. Oh, I swear I just heard a nuke go off somewhere. I just don't see it. China, are you at it again? Well, wherever it was, I didn't see it. Makes me wonder if the United States is going to use those at some point, because I know they've got them. Maybe if they get desperate enough. It's May of 2011, and our first troops are about to land in Canada. So once they get there, and it looks like most of them have, Spain canceled their Lend-Lease. I'm not sure why that matters, but all right. So we've got troops in Canada now. The next step is to start planning for the invasion. So we'll get them on the front lines. Where are they going? Not entirely sure what's happening right now, but it looks like they're going back home? No, that can't be. Alright, let me sort this out. Figure out what's going on, and then we'll get it moving again. Well, for whatever reason, it let 8 of my divisions land, and all the rest immediately turned right back around, headed for Germany, and no matter what I do, it will not let me give them orders to go there. So I don't know if it was an issue with them just their organization being too low or what's going on there, but for whatever reason that's the case. It looks like that's what it is. Is that right now their organization's so low that I can't issue them orders. So we're gonna have to let them go back to Germany, and I guess we're just gonna have to reissue orders for them to be transported one more time. But at least I've got a few divisions there to help out. It's only 8. But every little bit's going to help at this point. Just to kind of make sure that we hold on here and don't allow them to take this area back. So I'm going to get them over into this area here where it looks like the battle's going badly between Canada and a couple of divisions from Brazil and France. In the meantime, it's at 25% in favor of the aggressors right now. I've lost 251,000 men so far. And it looks like we've also got that toehold there in Nova Scotia still going strong. So there's a couple of areas from which to build. We just need to kind of keep it moving from there. Unfortunately, my 8 divisions that I had on the mainland in Canada were isolated. They were cut off by the Canadian Army and completely wiped out. Big disaster for my army, losing 8 whole divisions. But the good news is I've re-landed the rest of my forces back in Canada, and this time they're not immediately going right back to Germany again. So I guess I should have just probably sat there with those 8 divisions. But for some reason I was thinking that maybe if I moved them that would solve the issue and I could turn the other ones around and bring them right back. But the good news is I'm there. I've got a stronger foothold this time, and I think we'll be okay. So once we get settled, maybe cut off the rest of this island, then we can start moving on to the mainland once again. Try to get down there and help out this attempt at a breakout from Nova Scotia. There's really not a lot of good options right now as far as my national focus goes, because I've done pretty much everything that I want to do. So I guess we can focus on the Air Force a little bit. Obviously these guys have very low supplies right now, but we're going to have to change that. Alright, I definitely heard and saw a nuke that time. It hit Montreal, it looks like. Yep, somebody just nuked Montreal. So I can only assume that was probably China again, maybe France. But I'm stuck here trying to break out. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to nuke from that far away. But we're going to get there. Looking right now at the situation, it's still 25% in my favor. I'm up to 320,000 lost, but I also have over 3.5 million and available manpower now. So I'm really only limited by my ability to produce, not by my manpower. So we can see Canada's down to 118 divisions. We're going to be watching carefully. They've lost 500,000 men, and that is not something that Canada can sustain. I don't think they have but maybe 30 million people in the entire nation. So you're already looking at a big chunk of their population has been lost in this war. I got to think they're out of manpower at this point. So my main issue right here is attrition. I just don't have the ability to supply these folks properly, and that's what's kind of keeping me back at this point. Oh man, it's getting real now. Indianapolis just got nuked. I see nukes exploding all over the place. It's just sometimes I don't catch where it was in time. I just see a flash or I hear the sound. But that one was definitely Indianapolis. Wow, this is crazy. So my allies are definitely kind of making some progress. It's largely just Canada, it appears, that's fighting back. I don't know where the American divisions are, but they don't appear to be doing much. And I just am not able to really fight right now because of the attrition. It's so bad. I just really can't make a good go of it yet. So I've got to try to find a way to get some supply there. But France controls this, and what I need is more of a naval base there. So we'll see what I can do. All right, so Canada's getting low on divisions, and what apparently has happened is they're being threatened so much over here with what's happening in the couple of landing areas that my allies have, that they pulled their divisions back from this front line and have moved them elsewhere, which means now I should be able to cross here. I'm just running into some of the usual issues of organization and supply. But once that's resolved, I'll be able to get across. I'll be able to start pushing down. We've got 3 different areas that we've broken through now. And Canada, I think, has just exhausted its manpower. They're at 738,000 lost, most of it against China. And 97 divisions left. I think we're going to start seeing that number go down. They just can't keep up with this. Vietnam's halfway to capitulation, so China's doing their job. Once we take Canada out, it really just won't be very long at all before the U.S. will be in trouble as well. They're at 28% now. So I can start to see the end in sight as far as this war is concerned. Let's go ahead and take a look over in the east, see what's happening. So yeah, they haven't overrun a lot of Vietnamese territory, but I mean it gets pretty narrow, and then they'll just be able to march right down before too long. Still, Taiwan sits there perfectly fine. The ones who started it all. Alright, and we're now unopposed, so we're going to be on the Canadian mainland here in just a matter of days. And now the breakout begins. There it is. Awesome. So we're going to move slowly, just because I'm really concerned about the attrition involved here. But let's take a look. Yeah, they're still at 96 divisions, but man, they can't possibly be able to continue to sustain these kind of losses. It's the end of April 2012 now, and we're slowly making progress throughout Canada. It's just really slow going because of my supply issues. There's just not enough supply. And I think that's probably the situation all the way along. We've got plenty of divisions to get the job done, just don't have the supplies to make it happen. I've got 16 nuclear weapons now, and those are going to keep going up really fast, I think. More units in production here. I actually lowered my... I made a change to my... I think it was the conscription laws, only because I felt like I had more than enough at this point in terms of manpower. So I thought I could probably slow that down a little bit. Actually, it wasn't conscription. I went back to partial mobilization, I think it was. I don't remember now. It was a while ago. But I did make that change. So it went from 7% recruitable population down to 4%. So we'll keep inching ever closer down here through Canada so we can link up with the rest of our forces. Current situation is just Canada's lost 900,000 in manpower now. They're still at 94 divisions. I'm just really surprised that they're hanging on as long as they have. So we'll see if maybe we can advance. Just, no, don't go back. Go this way. There we go. Advance just a little bit further. More and more. Try to expand this beachhead a little bit. What I need are more ports so we can get a little more supply going. And that's kind of a big issue for me at the moment. Okay, there's a really unwelcome sight. Italy has just joined the war on the side of the United States. There's 74 more divisions, all of them in Europe. So now we've got to take our focus off of Canada for a little while, and we've got to focus back over here in Europe. I always wondered if that was a possibility, but of course this is a nation that borders me, and I have nothing there whatsoever to defend against this. So we're going to have to cancel all of our garrison orders, move this garrison down to the southern border as quickly as possible. We're going to rush these new units into the field, assign all of them to that same army here in the German theater. We're actually going to have to make 2 armies because a garrison can be bigger, but an army itself can't be more than 24. So we'll do that. And of course they're immediately going to start hitting me again just like before. But I can quickly, because my infrastructure is so high, this is one of the reasons I did that. My infrastructure is maxed out everywhere. The British Empire just left the European Union. I'm not sure what that means. I really hope the Brits don't join things now. Whoa! And just like that, welcome to the war, Italy. Rome and the Vatican City have just been nuked. Oh my gosh. Whoever it is, I got to assume it's France. I wish there was some way I could find out, either France or China. They are not afraid to use their nuclear weapons. There's another one. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Hey, guess what? I think I can do this too. Where's the Italian army? Oh, they're all over here fighting against France. Hey, let's do the same thing, shall we? We're going to drop our first nuke right now, and I think we're going to do it on the Italian forces right here. Alright, let's see what happens. Nuke them! How quickly will it... Oh, there it is! Wow! Holy cow! I shouldn't laugh at such a terrible thing as nuclear warfare, but it's a game, so hey, I'm allowed to enjoy this a little bit. And I've got nukes, and I've been waiting for the chance to use them. So, the problem is, the Italian forces aren't really kind of gathered in any one strong area. So I guess, you know what? Let's march on Venice, shall we? Italy made a huge mistake, I think, by joining this war because, well, honestly, I don't think they were prepared for what was to come. I need air superiority. So I got a couple of things I've got to kind of come back and fix here, but let's just take a look at the overview for a second. Italy making a big mistake. They've got 75 divisions. I think that number is going to go down quickly. Obviously, I need to kind of keep one eye on what's happening over here. Whoa! Looks like we linked up with the rest of the forces, and guess what that means? That should mean supply is no longer an issue, and it appears that's kind of true. Organization certainly has gotten better. But now, let's have at it, shall we? We'll start really kind of making a breakout here. I think I want to go for Ottawa on this side. This is going really, really well, I think. We're going to take Venice here very shortly. I thought I heard another nuke going off. Not sure where. But this couldn't go better. Oh, man, there it is. They just nuked Naples. My goodness, this is crazy. I'm not going to nuke Venice just because I'm about to take it. Well, that's interesting. The British Empire wants to send 7 divisions as volunteers to help out. Hey, sure thing, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that much. So I noticed a potential issue here, and that was that I wasn't defending my border. I was just kind of marching in toward Venice. So I've sent my army to kind of spread out and deal with that a little bit. Let's see what's going on in England. They finally switched over to monarchist. That's why they're helping out. That's why. Oh, very nice. So now Queen Elizabeth II is the de facto leader and not just the kind of head of state. She's also apparently the head of government. Very cool indeed. We've restored England to her rightful place in the monarchy. So let's try to organize this a little bit. I think at this point we're going to go ahead. Oh, we can't nuke Venice. Why not? We don't have enough air superiority. Well, we're going to solve that problem right now here. He's got some serious air power going down here, I guess. Once we get adequate air superiority, now it looks like he's pulling his divisions out. I guess we're gonna look this way. Now we're still not quite at the air superiority that we need, but Italy doesn't seem to be putting up much of a fight. That was a real mistake on their part to get themselves involved in a war that they weren't prepared for. Alright. So here's the current location of the majority of the Italian forces in my region. I thought I had air superiority. It looks like I do. Yeah, it's at 100%, so what's the issue? Huh. Interesting. I don't think Italy's going to last real long in this war. Okay, it's time. He's got 9 divisions in this area that I'm trying to attack. Let's nuke him. Here it comes. Oh, jeez. Oh, I hope that didn't hurt my own troops in the process. Wow, that was crazy. So we've taken Venice, and we are marching toward Rome. That's the eventual goal here. We're pushing through on all fronts. Things are looking really good right now. I want to go back and look at North America for a minute and see how things are going there, since Europe seems to be well in hand. So what we're trying to do now is we're going to get out of this area, because this isn't really an area that I'm all that concerned about keeping and holding. My real goal is New England. I want to deal with Boston, New York City, eventually get down into Philadelphia, which is where my daughter's headed later today. That's really the goal here, but let's go ahead and just take a look at the overview of what's happening. It's showing 25% right now. What I want to see is who's got the most divisions. We've got the U.S. with 169, Italy with 74, Canada with 94. Italy's already lost 100,000 men. There have been almost, it looks like, we're pushing 12 million casualties overall for this entire war. Alright, so things have kind of stabilized for the moment here in Italy. Looks like we're pushing through. France is just kind of holding a stable line over here on this side, which is fine. Whatever keeps them occupied and allows me to kind of march through Italy unopposed is fine by me. Now, these garrison divisions, I can probably kind of change that up from garrison duty now and move them down to the border, because I'm largely doing this entire invasion with 14 divisions. So let's do this. Let's switch over some of these divisions. So we, since I switched him from garrison duty, he can't command more than 24 anymore. There we go. The conquest of Italy is on. Let's see, where else can we possibly cause some problems? We're going to nuke Florence. Not for any particular reason other than that I can. Here it comes. Oh, man. Brutal. Alright, I think that's enough nukes for now. I've still got 16 of them, but I really don't think I need them at this point. The Empire of Vietnam has capitulated, so that's good news over in China. Just kind of balancing trade because I'm starting to conquer a lot of factories in Italy. And so it's improving my production, which means needing to trade for more things. We've conquered most of the northeastern portions of the country. I need to issue some new orders and push the offensive line further to the south so we can march on Rome. And at that point, this thing should be pretty well in the bag, I would think. Well, that one wasn't me, but somebody just nuked Rome again, which means they also basically nuked the Vatican City. I'm slowly marching south, but I've also sent my armies west, and they're going to try to consolidate things here, and we're going to very shortly reach the border with France and kind of squeeze Italy out altogether. And then I think at that point, as soon as we take Rome, this battle will be over for Italy. And at that point, I think that'll be a great spot for wrapping up this episode because a lot has happened. I have a feeling, I haven't really checked, but I have a feeling this video is a little longer than others. There goes Naples again. So as soon as we take Italy, I think this war will be over. Or take Rome, this war with Italy will be over. We'll come back with that final. Alright, here comes the final push toward Rome. I think it's really just a matter of how long it takes for the troops to move. It's October of 2012. We want to take it before winter really sets in, I think, and slows us way down. So Rome is on the verge, and I got to think that is enough to finish Italy off, though it looks like maybe it won't be. Might have to push down into Naples. Might have to deal with some of these coastline cities like Genoa. But Rome's about to be ours. Who would have ever thought they'd see the day when Germany marched on Rome? But there you have it. Let's see, Italy, yeah, that helped a lot, but that wasn't quite enough to finish them off. So let's go ahead and we're going to send some troops down in here. We're going to keep pushing forward. We're going to get Naples. And we're very quickly about to take these two coastline cities. Once we do that, between Genoa, La Spezia, and Naples, I gotta think that's enough to finish this off. In the meantime, make a few changes to trade. And then, once this minor annoyance of Italy is out of the way, we can go back to focusing on Canada and the United States. See if Genoa's enough to do it. Oh, come on. There we go. There's Genoa. No, I guess we're going to have to get Naples, too. Let's see where we're at. No, they're still not there. Meanwhile, the invasion of the United States has begun. We've made major incursion into Vermont, New Hampshire, part of Maine, a little bit of upstate New York. We're moving down toward Boston. Oh, yeah, it is going on now. But really, I just want to finish off Italy for now. So let's see where we stand there. Yeah, so he moved up the coast on me a little bit here. So now we've got to kind of refocus. His new capital city is about to fall. Let's see if that's enough. Okay, so I think we're at the place where one more city ought to do it. I'm hoping that is San Marino. Looking at things here, Italy's at 88% toward capitulation. That means we just need to take a couple more victory points. Looks like Monaco's their capital now. So I guess Monaco's where we need to go next. Looking real quick over at North America. The incursion continues. Boston is ours. Moving down toward New York City and Philadelphia. It looks like there's very little resistance at this point. And the war now shows 44% in favor of the aggressors. I gotta believe we're nearing the end to a major world war at this point. As soon as we march on Monaco, take New York and Philadelphia, we'll be over that magic 50% where the losing side can negotiate for peace if they want to. All right, we had to march pretty much all the way down the peninsula, but there it is. Italy has capitulated. Italy's out of the war. It's now at 49% in favor of the aggressors, and it looks like we get to do a little negotiating here with Italy. So we're going to see what we can demand. We want to take as much as humanly possible, and I can take just about all of it right now. We want the big ones. So let's start with Latium and work our way down. Let's see. We want that. I just want to try and keep it close, keep it in my area as much as I possibly can. We'll take Campana off of there. How many points do I have? 743. So we don't need Sicily just yet either, but I definitely want to make sure I have Rome. I can't make that many? I've got 743. I should be able to. I guess not. Okay. What else can I take off? Sardinia, I don't need that. Interesting. There we go. What else can I get, though? Piedmont? Yes. Can I go more? Nope. Oh, it looks like somebody else decided to take that one. Oh, no fun. Campania. How about Calabria? Nope. Sicily? Nope. And nope there, I guess. Pass. What's left? Sardinia? I think that's everything. All right. German Empire took 11 states. Italy has joined the People's Republic of Hong Kong as our ally in the war. All right, perfect. All right, so let's pause right here. That's a great place to stop. So let's take a look at our new German Empire as it exists. Boy, this is basically the Holy Roman Empire at this point, is it not? I mean, we've got a lot of the states that made up the Holy Roman Empire. Italy still exists as a nation, but they're basically a puppet at this point, and they've got just this region over here. But man, this looks good. And now, once again, we can go back to focusing on the war in North America, and this is where it looks to be at the moment. We've taken Boston, taken Vermont, New Hampshire, parts of New York, a little bit of, looks like Rhode Island and part of Connecticut. Next stop, Philadelphia, New York City. That's a great place to stop. A lot going on. It is Christmas Eve of 2012, and I just want to say thank you as always for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. A lot was happening, so it's kind of the payoff for the first 9 episodes of not nearly as much happening, because now it's moving fast. So hit that thumbs up if you would, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks.